What is up, my pleasure babies? Welcome to this Monday's episode, and we're gonna take a few steps back. Now, I know I've made a video very similar to this in the very beginning when I started my YouTube, but I think it's time for a redo. And just to I don't know, maybe basic it down really hard, because I seem to be getting a lot of DMs on how to self-pleasure, aka how to masturbate. Masturbate is just a really aggressive word, so I tend to use the word self-pleasure instead. So this video is primarily gonna be for vulva owners. However, if you are a penis owner, this would not be a bad idea to watch, because this will also help you please your lovely lady or just your vulva owner. However, before we get started, I just want to take this moment to thank you for 16,000 subscribers. This is fucking unreal, and the fact that you guys all watch my YouTube is incredible, and I could not be grateful enough. And if you are new here, please take this moment to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're unsure if you're gonna like this video, make sure you stick all the way through to the end so that you can either give me your thumbs up or your thumbs down, because I'm always down for constructive criticism. I'm always trying to improve, and I'm always trying to bring you brand new content and stuff that, yeah, you just have nobody to talk to about, and I'm your sister. I am here for you. I am another woman who is here to help other women hit their orgasm or just pleasure in general. So I think it's time for us to get started. Let's go. So like I mentioned, this is a beginner's guide to self-pleasure. And when we are starting out with self-pleasure or masturbation, we are specifically only going to use our hands. Okay, well, in some cases we might use a shower head, some water, or potentially even a pillow. But for the most part, I'm gonna be talking about our hands and how to work with our fingers. So first, I would obviously like to get to know our anatomy. And yes, I mean the vulva. Now, I'm gonna try to figure out how to drop a picture up here, but if for some reason I can't, because I am technically challenged, I will just do a little bit of a demonstration with my hands. So the most important part that you are trying to hit or locate is gonna be your clitoris. And if you know this, you know this is the most important spot. The most known spot, I think, would be called the G spot. However, what a lot of people don't realize is the G spot is just the internal clitoral legs. If you're looking to hit all 8,000 nerve endings, that is gonna be in the clitoral bulb. So that is right underneath the clitoral hood. Now, if you have a very sensitive clitoris, you are going to utilize that hood to move around rather than direct stimulation on the clitoris. So let's say that this is our vulva, because this is just tends to be the shape of it. Your clitoris is going to be located right at the top here. Now, I would love to draw you something, but you know what? I'm gonna draw you something. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, so here we have the world's shittiest drawing, but it's gonna help us out and it's gonna help me explain. So up here, the big circle here, that is your clitoral hood. That dark circle in the center, that is your clitoris, okay? So you have your labia majora on the outside here, and you have your labia minoris, which are those little crinkly fuckers there. My meat curtains, as what my boyfriend likes to call them. And down here is your vaginal opening. The main direct target that we are going to be hitting is going to be your clitoris and your clitoral hood. I do want to state that your body has tons of erogenous zones. For instance, some people get turned on when they get their neck kissed, when they get their belly rub, when they touch their nipples, maybe their inner thighs. Whatever feels good and puts you in the mood, that is considered an erogenous zone. So it is not just our vulva and not just our clitoris and our G spot that turns us on. There are multiple different factors to make you elevated and the most turned on. Now, something basic to get us started. So obviously we did our little touchdown on our anatomy, and I really hope that you guys go and Google up the vulva just so you can figure out yours a little bit better. But my biggest recommendation is to have a mirror, whether it be handheld or something that you sit in front of. Your legs are going to be spread apart and you are going to view your own vulva, and I want you to look at it because it is beautiful and there's nothing that you can do to change that. That is the one that you are stuck with forever, and that is gonna be your holy grail. So you better fucking love her, because she's gonna love you after this video and after I tell you how to properly self-pleasure yourself. And I really shouldn't use the word properly, because there are so many different techniques, and whatever feels good to you feels good to you. But this is gonna be kind of your fundamentals, the ones that you always gravitate back down to, and the basic kind of strategies. So let's get down into the nitty gritty, what you guys came here specifically for. Now, my first tip to you is going to be set your environment. You want to have a safe space where you're not going to be distracted and you're not going to be worried about somebody walking in. So first things first, you're going to lock your door, whether it be the bathroom door or whether it be your bedroom door. If you don't have a lock, just choose a time where somebody is not home so that you feel safe and your guards are let down. Next, you're going to set the tone in the room you're in. So if you're in the bathroom, maybe you're gonna have a shower, you're gonna relax that way, or maybe you're gonna have a hot bath. In fact, a lot of ladies do find self-pleasure in the shower or in the bath, letting the faucet or using the shower head on the clitoris or on their vulva just in general and letting it massage. That is usually kind of the first way that younger girls tend to find that this is their pleasure spot, that their vulva is where it feels good. They don't necessarily know why, but they know it feels good. That and like humping pillows. I feel like every child has done something crazy like that before. And it's just because it feels good. And that's just our anatomy. And that's just, we are human. That's how we were born onto this earth. And that is exactly why we're here, is to procreate. And that is how it is done, through sex. So yeah, sex should not be fucking taboo at all. But to keep things going on, you might want to set the tone with the lights, maybe put on some sexy lingerie or maybe a cute pair of underwear if you don't own any lingerie. And you want to make yourself feel most comfortable within your own body. So now that that door is locked, the lights are down, you got your favorite tunes on. Mine is The Weeknd, the Trilogy album, something that makes me feel super sexy. I'm going to start touching those erogenous zones. So for me, it's my nape of my neck, it's behind my ears, it's my nipples and my inner thighs. And I'm just slowly going to, almost like a gentle touch and like a massage, just take some deep breaths and really center yourself. From there, you are going to explore downward. Now remember, this is your first session, or this is your first time vulva mapping yourself. So now you are going to take your 2 fingers and you are going to stroke both sides of your labia majora and then your labia minora. And that is going to give you a different sensation. So just take a second and feel out how that feels to you. Yeah, I'm expecting you guys to maybe touch yourself while you're doing it to this video, but that is just solely for a learning basis. You don't have to listen to this every single time. This is just a guideline, and sometimes it's nice to have me there with you, and this will be like a teaching experience. You can think about it like that. It's not inappropriate, it is just solely a teaching experience. So now that you have done stroked your labia minora and your labia majora, you are slowly gonna use the technique up and down. So you're gonna slide up with your finger and you're gonna pull back your clitoral hood, and then you're gonna come back down, and you're slowly gonna repeat that, just swiping up and down, and just start off lightly, play with that pressure, see how that feels. So obviously there's gonna be a little bit of tingling, a little bit of sensations, but however, if you are feeling pain, back off on the pressure and maybe just try coming up from down. So instead of pulling back the hood, you're gonna come up from top to bottom, and you're gonna push down that hood, and you're gonna go back and down. So if you are less sensitive and you like a more intense pressure, you're gonna come up, and if you are sensitive, you're gonna go down. The whole point of me going through these techniques is to describe to you guys that every body is completely different. Different sensations feel good to different people, different pressures feel good to different people. For myself, I run the line between aggressive and sensitive. So it really depends on what type of mood I'm in and how I communicate that over to myself and my partner. The key in all this is just finding what works best for you. Now, if you are practicing with a partner, I recommend doing this on your own at first. The key is finding out what works best for you. So whether your partner has been with somebody else or hasn't been, it doesn't matter, because he or she or they have to start from square one all over again, because you are a new person and they don't know your body yet. Hell, if you are new to just self-pleasure in general, you don't even know your body. So how can you express what your wants and what your needs are to your partner in the future if you don't even know those yourself? So that is exactly why we are here. Now, while you are starting to stroke your labia majora and your labia minora, you are going to start noticing that you are getting, but if you are not, don't worry, that is exactly why they make lube. Now for me, I always use lube. I like being wet before my body actually produces lubrication, just because I'm not a fan of chafing. It is just no fucking bueno, and I don't want that. So you can take a glob of coconut oil, olive oil, or maybe even a lube if you are old enough to go to the store and buy some. However, I believe that lube should be available for everybody. So you're gonna take something that has a good glide to it, and that is when you are gonna start stroking your labia majora, your labia minora, maybe a little bit of movement over top your clitoris, just like I had described, either working top to bottom or bottom to top. As your body slowly starts to produce this natural lubrication, you are going to take your one finger and you are gently going to press in to your vaginal opening, and you're going to just see how that sensation feels. It's slowly going to start to get covered in more lubrication and more wetness, and you are going to increase maybe with 2 fingers. Now, if you don't feel that you can fit 2 fingers into your vagina, don't worry about it, just stick with 1 for now. It still should feel very new, very interesting, and almost kind of good. So now that you are inside your vagina, you are going to take your fingers and you are going to swirl around. You're going to feel those walls, feel the textures, the sensations that you're feeling, and if you just curve up a bit, about 2 to 3 inches, or 3 to 4 for some people, that is gonna be where your G-spot is. So it's gonna have a ripply texture. Now, if you cannot feel the ripples or the walnut texture or anything like that, don't worry, it's probably just because you are not turned on enough. Because what happens is, when you become extremely turned on, your clitoris will become aroused, very much so like a penis, and that will cause the inside of your vagina and the inside of your clitoris, your internal G-spot, to swell as well. And that is when you can start playing with female ejaculation and whatnot, but we are just not there yet. We are just mapping out our vulva and seeing what feels good to us. So while we're inside and we're exploring our G-spot, maybe you decide you need a little bit more pressure. So as your hand works down from your stomach and scoops in, you can either use these 2 fingers or you can use these 2 fingers. Whatever feels best for you, or if you're using one, that is totally fine too. But if you do find that you need a little bit more pressure to feel that G-spot, that ribs, walnut, raspberry, almost like the back of your throat kind of texture spot inside of your vagina, you are going to apply pressure with the opposite hand on top of your pubic bone. So what that is going to do is it's going to apply the pressure down into where your hands have scooped in to your G-spot, allowing you to add more pressure on that G-spot. Now you can just do pulses from here, because some people don't like the in and out, in and out, in and out. Even though it does mimic sex, it can be very irritating. So if that is not meant for you, try this. Try the pushing down on the pubic bone. That's that big bone right up underneath your belly button. And then you are going to just do that pulsing motion and get the blood flowing to the G-spot. See how that feels. Now, another awesome fingering technique is actually from behind. So instead of laying on your back like we were just recently, we are now gonna roll onto our stomach or go onto all fours. You're gonna reach around. Yes, your anus is right there, but you're not gonna go inside unless you feel like it. I won't judge you, it does feel great. And you are going to reach under and you're gonna use those same 2 or same 1 finger, and you are gonna do the come hither motion again, but you're gonna be applying the pressure onto the back spot of your vaginal wall. So a little bit different. However, for some people, such as myself, I do prefer my stimulation on all fours, and my fingering technique is just bomb that way. Now, that being said, it isn't for everybody, so just don't knock it until you try it. Try it a couple times and see if you like that sensation a little bit more. Now, this is definitely my absolute favorite technique because it involves both your G-spot and your clitoris. So yes, you will be using both of your hands. So decide what hand you feel most comfortable with locating your G-spot. For me, it's my right hand. My right hand is fucking money. I can find my G-spot in no time, and I can control the rhythm a little bit better. Now, my left hand, well, I am ambidextrous in most things in my life just because of my job in particular. I'm going to apply the clitoral stimulation with this hand. So I like using 2 fingers and 1 finger if I'm feeling a little bit more on the sensitive side. So when you are stimulating your clitoris, you can go side to side, up and down, or little tiny circles. Hell, if you wanted to, you can even almost stroke it like you are going to jerk off a penis. Now, I know that sounds fucking ridiculous, but it is so true, and it still provides you the same amount of stimulation in a less intense way. So essentially, you would be grabbing your labia majora and your labia minora and squishing them together, which is then gonna push against your clitoris and your clitoral hood, and you're gonna go up and down. Obviously, you're not doing full strokes like you would with a dick. You are going to be doing little tiny pulses again. Now, with this hand, you are going to be doing the come hither motion, or you are going to be doing the pulsating, creating that double sensation and blended orgasm that every girl is ever wanting. You always are craving for those G-spot and clitoral orgasms at the same time. That is exactly why they made the G-spot rabbit vibrator. And the rabbit is notorious. I'm not a fan of the actual rabbit ears that they use, but I do have a dual kind of orgasmic or a vibrator, I would call it. I don't even know what to call it. I'm just gonna call it a dual orgasmic because it fucking gives me double orgasms all the time, and I am so down. So I kind of touch base on the movement of your fingers, but I actually want to just go back through and give you just the finger motions. So the first one that we're gonna do is the come hither. This is the most famous one. So this is the come hither motion. So you can do that with 2 fingers, or you can do that with 1 finger. Now that is done on the inside. If you want to, I guess you could do it on your clitoris, but that probably won't feel good. The next spot that you're going to do is the pulsation. So it's gonna be the pushing up, little tiny pulses. And this is the one where you can apply the pressure on the top of the pubic bone as well, so you can increase the amount of pressure given to the G-spot. The next one is going to be your classic rub. So this is the one that I was saying, like, feel around, see what you feel. How do those sensations feel to you? Does it feel tingly? Does it feel good? Are you getting more wet? And that is just gonna be little tiny circles on the inside right at the roof and stimulating that G-spot again. Now with those finger circles, you can also move that to the outside of your clitoris. And in my past video, I do tell you how to stroke the clitoris a little bit better. But you know what? Maybe that's another redo of a video for next week, because the clitoris is so damn fucking important. But this video was mostly about self-pleasure and fingering. Fingering in specifics, because a lot of men or penis owners don't even know how to finger their partner, but a lot of vulva owners don't even know how to finger themselves. And when you're in a bedroom with a partner for maybe like the first time, what do you have? Do you have your sex toys with you? No. Have you used a sex toy before? Maybe not. But what do you always have with you that is never gonna let you down? It's gonna be your own hands. So some of the great positions that you can use your hands in with your partner, or even with solo play too, because you totally can be fucking a dildo while stroking your clit with your hands. It does feel great. One of the most famous ones to do is obviously gonna be doggy style. That frees up your hands, and you can use your hand to stroke your clitoris and do the rubbing sensations that you learn to love on yourself. Now, if you are in missionary and your legs are on their shoulders, you can also stimulate your clitoris that way too. So remember how I said you're getting almost like the double orgasm with the rabbit vibrator, because it's hitting your G-spot and it's also stroking your clitoris. This is exactly what the penis does, or the strap does, when it is inside of you, okay? So it is giving your G-spot that stimulation, and now you are in control of your clitoral stimulation. So after everything that I have taught you guys in this video, I cannot stress this enough. It takes time. It takes time for a vulva to become aroused. So make sure you're not speeding into things, and make sure you don't dive in right for the clit, because that is exactly how you kill your orgasm. It is about the buildup. It is about the making yourself super wet, super soaked. And if you can't do that, that is exactly why they made lubrication. Do not be afraid to go to the store and buy that. Hell, you can even order it on Amazon and get it shipped right to your door in a very discreet box, okay? Every sex store, every sex website does this too. Everything is always in such a discreet package, and nobody will ever know that you need lube. And it shouldn't even be awkward if you are with a partner and you are pulling it out of the drawer, because it's for you. They get off, so why can't you get off if that lubrication helps you? Okay, so like I stated, take your time, explore with it, see what feels good and what doesn't feel good. There's definitely some techniques that I didn't even include in this video, a lot of them being clitoral, which I did say I was going to tell you a lot about. Turns out I just talked a lot about fingering, but that's because I changed my train of thought and I also didn't write an outline this time, so my ADHD got the best of me. But that is totally fine, because women and men and they and them, we all need help. We all need help understanding the vulva, because it has been so under investigated and just not talked about enough that we are just lacking so much in the pleasure department. So this was my hope for you in this video, is to help you kind of vulva map yourself and explore a little bit better. Now, to finish everything up, after all, every body is different and everybody is different. Different sensations, different pressures, different techniques. So if you feel that any of these have helped you out, or you thought that this video was a good starter for you and a good reminder, maybe if you already knew how to masturbate and self-pleasure, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any other recommendations to other vulva owners, please drop them in the comments below. People do read the comments. I read the comments, and I will do my best to respond to them, especially the positive ones. The negative ones, I'll kind of respond to them probably in an asshole way, but I still like to respond to them because I think I'm pretty funny, I would like to say. And I'm gonna try to be hitting up a video midweek about my first week on OnlyFans. So if you are looking to subscribe to my OnlyFans and get some more content and see a little bit more of me, no, I do not do porn, but I do suggestive Playboy kind of style, vibey type of shit. Pretty much just feeling myself, you know, feeling sexy in the body that God gifted me. I'm not religious, but I mean, like, somebody had gifted me this body. What am I talking about? Obviously, it was my mama and my dada, okay? So what I'm gonna be doing with my OnlyFans money that I do receive is going to be investing it into a sex coach program, something where I can get a certificate. So for those people that feel like I am not educated and I am just self-taught, you guys are right, but I have slept with a lot of people and I have done a fair amount of research, and I do research all the time and I'm always constantly learning. But for those people that do want a certificate and do want to pay me for sex coaching, that will happen. I just can't afford the $10,000 that it does cost for the program right now. So that is exactly why I'm running my OnlyFans, so that I can collect some money and then invest it into becoming a sex coach, so I can help more people just like yourself, whether it be free through YouTube or whether it be one-on-one coaching with you and your partner or just yourself. Either way, I'm always here to help you guys. So if you have any questions, please hit me up with a follow and a DM on my Instagram at PleasureBhabie with 2 E's. I am working on getting my TikTok account back, but for right now, you guys can follow my new TikTok too, PleasureBhabie with 2 E's. And yeah, I really hope this video was helpful towards you guys, and give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, because I will see you next Monday or maybe midweek for a OnlyFans update. Okay, I love you guys. Thanks for the support. See you next week.